Ruden is the organizer for the Tucson First committee. Is that what it's called? Committee. And he's here to speak to you guys. Please listen. We know that there's national problems, but there's problems right here at home. And listen to Mr. Ruden. Let's give it up for Mr. Ruden.
Thank you. You know, I want to basically acknowledge a few people here. These people with these gold and black signs, did you say, Save Small Business. Those people here were people that put money together to get the judge down here. And if you've enjoyed what the judge has said and liked having him down here, give those people a round of applause. And I'd also like to thank the Tea Party organizers and everybody here giving me a few minutes to talk today. And basically I wanted to come down and ask a question. My question is, how many people here work with, for, or own a small business? By a show of hands, let me see the small business people out here. Okay, look around at all the people that have raised their hand. Look at all the people that are small business here in Tucson that we need to help, because our number one issue right now is jobs and the businesses that support those jobs. And what I wanted you to do is I wanted to come out and share my story with you guys, because I think it's the same story that all of you have. And I thought there was an American dream, and I wanted to become a small business owner. I wanted to work for myself, and basically I got that opportunity. You know, I worked very hard for another employer for about 12 years. I started as a technician. I worked my way up to vice president of a large pest management firm. I realized I need my education. I went to school at night, got my bachelor's in business management. And then when I had the opportunity to buy my own business, I mortgaged everything I had. I went out and I took a risk. And what I'm tired of is the people that go and get their education, the people that take the risk, the business owners, that they're the ones being penalized. They're the ones that are basically giving up money and handing it to the non-achievers. And I'm tired of the non-achievers getting the handouts for the people that took the risk and worked hard. But one day, I kind of awoke from my shell. As a small business owner, I realized it wasn't the American dream. What I realized is along the line, I became the enemy. I became the bad guy. When was it bad for me to provide for 23 employees? When did I become the bad guy providing benefits and health care for them? When did I become the bad guy for providing bonuses, holiday parties? Did I not pay my fair share of taxes on a state, local, and federal level? So I want to make a change. Last October, when we had the judge come out and we had the October event, it was because we were angry. We were angry at the disdain that the federal government had for us. We were upset at the wasteful federal spending, because we realized that the government has a voracious appetite that can never be satisfied and will continue to take more and more, because it's about control, it's not about you. That's why the Tucson First people came together. That's why I want you to speak to them and get involved. Now, I was wondering after that event, I said, you know, is this really the federal government's issue? Then I began to realize this is not about Obama. This is not about Gabrielle Giffords. It's a situation that they represent a microcosm of the Tucson community. Look at your city council. Look at your board of supervisors. It's a situation that they are just as bad as the federal government. Well, we'll hold on afterwards and we'll be happy to talk to you after I'm done talking. But the reality is, I wanted a small business advocate. I wanted to know who was going to represent my company, who was going to represent me. So I looked around and I thought I knew who that person was. I thought it was the Tucson Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce. And I'm going to tell you why I thought the business advocate here in Tucson was the chamber. And I'm going to read a quote. This is the mission statement from the Tucson Metropolitan Chamber. And it says, the Tucson Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce will lead all interests, public and private, in the Tucson region to cultivate a positive economic climate for job creation and growth.
Yeah, working so far. Good.
Notice that they say all interests of business. Notice they say for job creation and growth. But if you've looked at the economy right now, you can see that that's not taking place. And we need someone to advocate for us. We need someone that's going to represent small businesses, that's going to fight the city council and the board of supervisors, that are going to go in and get their voice heard.
Homeless.
So when businesses cannot provide jobs and people are out of work, there's something fundamentally wrong in our community. Now, chambers typically serve a valuable part of their communities. Ask yourself, why does Salt Lake City have a lower unemployment rate than Tucson? Why does Albuquerque have a revitalized downtown? And why does Phoenix get the businesses and the Tucson don't? It's because we need an engaged business community. And we need a chamber that's going to represent us politically and fight for small business issues. Let me tell you about our Tucson Chamber of Commerce. For 32 years, it's been under the same inept leadership. They're hemorrhaging members. They've lost 2/3 of their membership and will probably have less than 1,000 businesses by the end of this year. Now you contrast that to Albuquerque that has over 5,600 businesses. Which community do you think is going to represent the business community better? When it comes to the new state tax, everybody knows that they want to raise a 1% sales tax. Is everybody in favor of that? No! Our own Chamber of Commerce said that we must support the 1% sales tax because we have made too many cuts to education and healthcare. What about the 28,000 private sector jobs that are going to be lost? What about the fact that only 52 cents on a dollar actually make it to the classroom? Or what about the fact that 60% of the budget for the state goes to education already? In 1983, they passed a 1% sales tax that was temporary. And it was in the name of education. And did you know what happened a couple years later? It became permanent. So what I want everybody here to do is, if you get an opportunity, you get a minute, stop and talk to these Tucson First people. Visit our website at TucsonFirst.org to learn a little bit more about your community. Talk to them, sign a petition, get involved. That's what I'm asking you to do. Because the business community is tired. It needs to take back our Chamber of Commerce. We're tired of the inept leadership. We're tired of them supporting the social agenda and not supporting us as a small business community. Now I'm going to leave on one last note. And it's not related to our particular community. It's a situation where I had the opportunity about 1.5 years ago to Washington, D.C. And I would encourage everybody to go down and see our nation's capital. When I was there, though, I had the opportunity to visit the Holocaust Museum. I've never seen a greater example of a government that was completely out of control. But what I realized at the top floor of the museum, it says how they got there. And what ended up happening is the people of Germany loved and applauded their government in the name of progress. And the human price was unbelievable. But when I exited that memorial, there was a quotation on the wall that I want to share with you guys.
You said it's right.
First, they came for the socialist. And I said nothing because I am not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionist. Again, I said nothing because I'm not a trade unionist. And when they came for the Jews, again, I said nothing because I am not a Jew. And when they came for me, there was no one left to speak for me. I want you to speak out. God bless and thank you all.